morning. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm actually going to be cleaning up all of my garden beds. I'm going to be amending some of the soil a little bit. I did a lot of that about a month ago, getting ready for the spring plant. This year I have quite a mess with the weeds on the ground because we've had such a record amount of rain. So I'm actually, as soon as I get all these weeds pulled up and trim back all the planters in the back, I'm going to be putting down a landscape fabric just to try to help control the weeds through the summer. So thank you for joining me. I hope you find this fun watching me work today, and we'll just get started. So this is how the garden looks after all that record rain that we have had this year. I just have so many weeds between the planter beds. It's going to take me quite a while to clean all this up, but I started working on it last night. I'm just going to try my best to get all of these weeds cleaned up. I do have some really nice daffodils that have bloomed. I've got some garlic growing over here. My onions have all taken root, and I've got some really beautiful Swiss chard. I actually hadn't noticed this until today, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and make something with this Swiss chard tonight. I have a really good recipe for a Swiss chard casserole. This is my other bed that I keep for the winter. It's got quite a bit of rutabagas growing. I've got some lettuce over here. I planted some strawberries in the back. I've got chives, and that's about it. Some spinach, just some greens for the garden. So I just wanted to take you around, show you some of these weeds that I'm going to be cleaning up. And like I said, it's just quite extensive. I'm going to be moving my composter to another area of my garden. Look at this mess. It's just a mess. So I'm going to start working on it, and we'll see how this goes. So this is the work that I got done yesterday. It's actually quite a bit. A lot of the weeds, I either cut the grass down and pulled the weeds, but I did a lot of work trying to get this ready to put my landscape fabric down. So the goal of the landscape fabric is that it just keeps some of the weeds from coming through. And today what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put a canvas, it's kind of a fence tarp. It's going to go along that back fence just for privacy in the garden. I've got my new greenhouse that I've put together, and I've got the basic part of it put together, but I'm going to finish putting the top together as soon as I get the landscape fabric down. So I've got a lot of work out here, but I'm going to get started and show you what I get done. Well, this is the tarp that I put over the fence. It just gives me a little bit of privacy in the backyard when I'm gardening. So I was actually able to get quite a bit done over this weekend. I'm out of energy. It's about 2 o'clock on Sunday, and I have pretty much worked all weekend long, and I am exhausted. But I do have a couple of garden beds that are looking really good for the lettuce, and I've got some, chives back there. I've got some Swiss chard here, which is doing really good. Some beautiful daffodils, and some onions that I'll be planting out. And then I'm really just going to put a lot of this away. I'm just, like I said, I'm really tired. I put this canvas backing back on the fence. I took it down so that I could trim my neighbor's bushes. They were kind of coming through and pushing that canvas through. So I do that about every 6 months. So as you can see, a lot of these tomato plants are so big, they're actually growing over my lights. So I am going to be moving these outside today, and I'm going to be putting them in the new greenhouse I bought. That's it right there. And then the big thing I did today was I went ahead and built my little greenhouse. It's looking great. I was able to take my plants out of my house and get those all situated out here tonight. I'm really hoping that this is going to be nice and warm enough for them. If not, I'll bring them back in the house. I'll check the temperature. But right now it's about 70 degrees. I don't know if you can see the thermometer, but you know, everything's doing really good. They're getting a little bit of fresh air. So I'm going to put some of my tools away. I'm going to work on some of this next weekend. I'm expecting quite a bit of rain over the next week. It's supposed to rain like 3 days, so I need to get everything put away in my shed. But this is how my garden's looking a lot better than it did at the beginning of the weekend. And I will just keep working on it, and I'll show you my progress as I go. So this is my miniature peach tree. It's called a pixie peach. And as you can see, there's lots of bees. I don't know if you can see that bee jumping around there, but I've got all kinds of blossoms on there. Now these were a couple of avocado trees that I planted just last year. And already on this one, you can see there's all kinds of new growth on it. I'm starting to get some little tiny blossoms. I'm getting new leaves. So who knows, maybe we'll get some avocados this year. I mean, that would be great. And then over here, I've got my apricot tree. And this thing is unbelievable. I've already got little baby apricots everywhere all over the tree. So about half of the tree has blossomed, and I've got all kinds of little apricots growing, and about half of the tree is still setting blossoms. So I've got a few left that are going to be turning into apricots really soon. So that's exciting. This is my Hancock peach. This is probably my favorite peach tree out of the whole lot. These peaches are white. They are absolutely delicious. They are so good. And I've got blossoms coming on this tree. This is my Alberta peach over here. And again, I've got little blossoms starting to come up on the tree. Really, really, really beautiful. I mean, I think we're going to have a great year for fruit this year. This is a little white nectarine tree. I just planted it about a year ago. And I do have some blossoms. It looks like I'm starting to get a little bit of fruit on the tree. Not a whole lot like last year, but I'll have some fruit. But this year, this is the yellow nectarine tree. Look at this thing. It's going to be loaded with fruit. Oh my gosh. This is my pomegranate tree. I don't have any blossoms, but I am starting to get little leaves. And we're just a week away from the 1st of April. Now look at this beast. This is my plum tree. I didn't trim it this year. I just kind of let it go. I thought, oh, I won't get as many blossoms this year because I had so many plums last year. I mean, there's no way you could eat all that many plums. We'll be giving a lot of them away. This is my pluot tree. I'm just finishing some blossoms here. This is a pretty new tree. And then my apple tree doesn't bloom for a while. It'll be probably a couple months before we see anything, maybe midsummer. But anyway, everything's looking beautiful with all of the herbs, and everything's nice and green, and just looks really pretty this time of the year. I love spring, but I'm really enjoying all these blossoms from these trees. They're just beautiful. Look at that. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.